And now, friends, we're going to go ahead discussing about the last type of collection in that. So for that, we have the map. So I guess the map should be the last collection type. So we've made mention of lists, we've made mention of sets, and we've also made mention of maps right now. And currently, right now, we're going to deal with maps. So now, what's a map? A map is a collection of elements where each element is stored as a key value pair. So now, let me show you guys what a map looks like practical in this that part. So for a map, as usual, you define its type. So map, then you give it a name. So I'm gonna say cars. So I want this to be a map collection of cars. So this. So I hope you guys understand what I mean by a map collections of cars. So when I say a list of collections of cars, so you know that I'm trying to make mention of collections of cars inside a list. That's inside something embedded in between two square brackets. But for a set, you know, it's gonna be something embedded inside coily braces like this, where I'm just gonna list cars inside here, like Ferrari, Bentley. You understand? So for a map also takes just kind of like the same structure as a set, but the only difference is that the only similarity is that we have the type inferred here differently to be mapped, and we also have our key value pairs defined inside here. You understand? So now let me show you what I mean by key value pairs. So for the first one, I'm gonna say one. So for the first car, I want the first car to be a Bentley, a Bentley. Yeah, after a Bentley, for the second one, I want a Ferrari. Yeah, listing out good cars. So for the third one, I'm just gonna go ahead, copy this from my notepad and paste this real quick for you guys, and then continue. Yeah. Now, so here are a list of collections of cars, nice cars. For my first car, I have my garage. I have the Bentley. My second car in my garage, the Ferrari. Third car in my garage, Porsche. The fourth one, wow. I guess I'm the Bill Gates right now. I'm a Bill Gates, or you could say I'm an Elon Musk. So I guess I'm damn rich right now, nigga. You know. So I have Bentley, Ferrari, Porsche, Mercedes, BMW, my car. Man, I'm rich. So yeah, I'm just kidding, man. I don't think I'm rich. Please, please, please. So let's continue from what we're doing. So how about if we want to go ahead accessing the our third car, which is the Porsche. So you want to go ahead into your garage, then take your Porsche and maybe go out and you understand. So let's come inside here right now and let me say print. You know, this is how we output statements or output values, get the output of values. So print, I'm gonna say cars, no, not outside, cars, then inside after cars, I'm gonna introduce my square brackets, then I'm gonna say three. Yeah, let me change this to a lowercase so that work is going to be easy for us. So we have print cars 3. So let's run this and let's hope to see Porsche as our value or as the car in which we're going to use to go out in. So you see Porsche has been printed out here. So now let me explain something for you guys. So I told you guys that in maps we deal with key value pairs, you understand, but in sets we just go direct. If you're making use of a set of car items, a set of strings of car items, you just list your items as strings only. But in maps, whenever you want to go, like you want to know a map or whatever you're going to use to know a map is key value pair. So what differentiates it is this double dot in between this. So the first one being the key, the second one being the value. So the key must always be a string. You understand? It must always be a string. Why the value changes? But though it's not as if it must always be a string. So if you want the key could change to, let me say, 1, you understand, then this being a value. In fact, you could just make use of any kind of data type for the key and the value type defined here. So but I normally prefer mine to be a string. So whenever the one in which I go ahead changing this data type is the value. So I could come here and say this to be 2. I could come here and say this to be true. You understand? So I always prefer my keys to be of string data type. So at the point in time I've gotten so used to it, you understand? So it's your choice. So let's go back and continue. So we've been able to access our first car here, our third car here being the Porsche. So how about if we want to go ahead overriding our third car from Porsche to a Lamborghini? So let me cut this. So let me come out here and say, let me paste this. Then let's override this to a Lamborghini. So I'm gonna say Lamborghini. Lamborghini. So the print needs one positional argument here. So I'm gonna print out the three still. I'm gonna say cars, or instead of doing this, let me go ahead copy it since I have it here and paste. So there's a saying that programmers are lazy. I guess it's true because I can see that I'm really lazy. Instead of me going ahead typing this, I have to go copy, but it's still fine in as much as you know what you're doing, so it doesn't matter. So you see, Lamborghini has been printed out here as our third car, you understand? So it has overridden the Porsche. So we have more awesome things we could do with maps, such as defining a method and a property for a map. So now let's go ahead defining our first method here for our map. So for our first method, we have many methods, so it's your choice. So for the sake of this tutorial, the method in which I'm going to use is contains value. So I want to know if this map contains a specific or a particular value I'm looking for. So how am I going to do this? I'm going to go ahead saying cars. Okay, let me give this a spacing because I love neat code. Cars dot contains value of what? Contains value of a Bentley. So we're gonna expect a boolean result, either true or false. So let me print. Okay, let me just go ahead copy this directly, contracts, and let me come inside here and paste. Yeah, and let's run this. So it's gonna give us a true result because our cars contains a Bentley. You see, we've gotten our result true. So you see the method here, cars dot contains value. So we come, since our method is cars dot contains value. So you see, it already gives us an upper hand to know that we come from the value, like we come to the value and pick from the values, not from the key, you understand? So it's from the values that we'll pick out what value we want to be sure is being contained inside our map. So this is just for the sake of this tutorial. So you could be programming a site and you have a map of collections of cars, like whole lots of cars, you understand? So imagine like whereby like you don't know like what item or what type of cars that are being contained inside your map any longer. So to just make it work so simplified for you, sort of going ahead looking for it like row by row, column by column or something like that. So you just go ahead and just make use of this method. So that is the advantage of knowing methods and knowing how to use them, and also knowing properties and knowing how to use them. You understand? That's one very big and good advantage of knowing the two of them. So we have another method here, the remove. So let me get rid of this, or let me comment this for those of you guys who still want to make reference to this method while watching this video or after watching the video. So let me go ahead and say print again. Yeah. So for our second method, we have the remove. So I want to go ahead removing what's the car I have in my garage that has a flattened tire. So wow, Bentley, no, Bentley has a nice tire in my garage. So I guess the BMW in my garage has a flattened tire. So I want to go ahead getting rid of the BMW right now. So for that, I'm gonna make use of the remove method. So I'm gonna say cars dot remove. Yep, cars dot remove what? So this time around, we are not targeting this based on its value. You understand? So we're targeting this based on its key. So some methods want to target like what you actually want based on maybe the value. Some wants to target what you actually want based on its key. You understand? So for this method right now, you see that we targeted the Bentley based on its value. So for this method right now, you see that we're going to target the BMW based on its key. You get. So for this, I'm gonna say 5. Yep. So okay, no. So what I'm gonna do? Let me cut this out and let me just put this here. Yeah. Then let me give a spacing on its code. Yeah. So print cars. Let me just say print cars. Let's run this. Okay, I have an error. Okay, hold on. Okay, this should be a minor error. Let me let me check and quickly fix this. So now it says to me compile DDC main. So it says cars dot remove this. Okay, expected this after it's expected the terminator after this. So let's include the terminator and let's run. So I was pretty sure that this code was very fine, but I was kind of like, what's the case or what's the cause of the error? So as a programmer, let me just tell you guys one thing. Like you're gonna encounter lots of problems and challenges in which you're always gonna have to be solving. So whatever you see in movies, that's a lie. Friends, like the person is done coding, that's a lie. So you're gonna sit down for hours cracking your head thinking. So don't just expect this part to be a bed of roses, you understand? So just know that you act for business, and whenever you make up something nice, I bet you friends, you're gonna be so happy. So now here's our result. So we have one Bentley, two, three, four, and you see five does no longer exist inside our map. So we don't have five any longer. So we just have four key value pairs of items. So let me get rid of this. So I don't want to remove the five any longer. So my wheel is no more flattened. It's no longer flattened. So I have a good tire right now and that's working fine. So how about if we want to know our values, like collections of values in which we have inside here? So it's very simple. You're gonna say cars.values and let's run this. Bentley, Ferrari, Lamborghini, and blah blah blah. So how about if you want for the keys? So you're gonna come here and say keys, Alicia Keys. No, not Alicia Keys, but keys, Keys. So let's run this. Yeah, cars of keys. You have one, two, three, four, five. So these are the keys in which we have here. So fine. So the another important thing I want to tell you guys about. So and that's making this strict. So I've made most often times here in this tutorial, if you guys could remember, like in the list, I made a list so strict, and in the set I made a set strict. So whenever I talk about making something strict, is making it strict in the sense that it accepts just a specific or a particular type in which you tell it to accept. So what I mean by that is after the type defined here, you make use of, if you could remember. So I know you guys do remember this, and I'm happy for you, and I'm so proud that you're catching up in this lesson. So if you could remember this, then you're gonna next thing you're gonna make mention of the type in which you want this to be strictly. You understand? So if I go ahead saying string as usual, so it says the map is declared with two type parameters, but one type is being assigned here. That's what this means. So for a list, you could just go ahead saying you want your list to be a collection of string items, you understand, because they're just single. Okay, let me show you what I mean. Let me just quickly make a list here, because I just love to deal with more of practical. That's how I love to teach. So list of animals as usual. List of animals. So just real quick, lion, dog, and let me just make it of three animals. Cheetah. Yeah, lion, dog, and cheetah. Fine. So for the list now, you see that the list is annotated like just they just annotated singly. So lion on its own, dog on its own, and cheetah on its own. But whenever I come to maps they are not annotated singly. So they are annotated double double, kind of like a key assigned a value assigned to a key and a key assigned to a value. You understand? So whereby they annotated double double, whenever you want to make them strict, you have to make them strict double double. So what I mean is, for the key is gonna be string, and for the value, you're gonna say maybe you want your value to be of only string data types. Yeah. So this is still very fine. This is all right. So the only error we see here is the value of the local variable animals is sent to use here. So for a list, you know how we do it for a list. So inside here, I'm gonna say all I want is strings. Sorry, I say string. You get. So if I want to say inside here, all I want is int, still fine. So it's gonna spot all this to not being integer values. So it tells me like what I'm gonna do to solve this. So I want them to be string of string data type. So fine. So let's head back here. So our for our key here is of string data type and for our value is of string data type. So if you want your key to be whatsoever data type, even booleans, even integers, doubles, you understand, or whatsoever, you could make use of it here. So let's take for instance, I want my key here to be of double. I'm gonna say double. So in that, when you talk of double are numbers that are not integers. You understand? They are not whole numbers. So you know integers are whole numbers. So when I talk of double, I mean something like this. Let me show you the guys practical. So I'm gonna say 2.7. So you see right now 2.7 is a double figure. So it's not a whole number. So I can say 3.5. Yeah, 3.5. So you see, it's fine with that. So, but it's not fine with 3, 4, and 5 because these are string. These are data types of string. You understand? These are string data types. So I could come here also do the same thing. So I could say what I want inside here is integers. So for that, you see, it underlines the 5 string types here or the 5 cars here red. So if you want to get rid of the red underline sign, just make your values integers. So let me make this 4. Let me make this 6. Let me make this 6. So you see, that is fine with this 1, 4, and 6, but it's not fine with the Mercedes and the BMW. You understand? So this is what I mean by, or this is what I meant by making something strict. You understand? Making your collection strict. So I've taught you guys how to make your collection strict, whereby you just you just make your collection to accept a specific or a particular data type of values only. You understand? And not accepting every other type of data type. So let me get rid of this and let me get rid of the list. We're not making use of the list for anything any longer. So let's run this again and see how good looking our code is. So yeah, we still have for the keys right now, we have 2.7, 3.5, 3, 4, and 5. And so we'll not police around right now for the type of the for the data types in which we make use of here. So right now we're not it's not strict. So we are free, you understand, to move around. So that's it, friends, and hope to see you in the next video as we discuss about enums in that.